Item 7, status of action decisions. I understand we've got a memo about rubbish bins coming. Coming but not here yet. In the fullness of time we'll deal with that. So, status on the action. Has everyone read that? Anyone prepared to move that we accept the status of decisions, which is more or less
Deputy Mayor.
Thank you. Fletcher. In favour? Aye. Contrary? Carried. Chief Executives. And the CFO's report. This might be quite short as we have a quarterly performance reports coming next. And Nicola will cover off some information about rates, payment arrangements, rebate schemes and that sort of thing. But that's rates. There is, as Councillor Williamson pointed out, 50% of the money owed is not rates, as well as an update on our long-term plan, which still isn't over. Over to you, Phil and Nicola, please.
Thank you, Your Worship. As you have said, a long agenda, so I'll be fairly quick today. Talofa lava, everyone. Recognise Samoan Language Week. And you'll see some evidence of that in the organisation in terms of our comms this week. We do have a comprehensive report on Q3, so I won't say anything about financial progress. Nicola will cover that at a high level shortly, and then in more detail when we come to that item. Suffice to say that we continue to be on track in terms of revenue, operating expenditure, CapEx program, and I have noted the earlier discussion about debtors. The acting chief financial officer and I have discussed that actually, so we will pick that up. But it's a very it is a very nuanced situation, as your discussion indicates. Just referencing Auckland Emergency Management and yesterday and last night's events, those warnings, rain and wind, are now cancelled. We're largely through that period. For your information, we dealt with 320 requests to the call centre overnight. 200 of those were for tree damage, trees down. You're familiar with stories, and I note some in the media. Those are being worked through progressively through the day. There were people out overnight dealing with the worst of those situations in terms of transport corridors and such. So, you know, frankly, a good effort from the team. There were also power outages overnight that, looking over in Councillor Baker's direction, that County's Energy was dealing with about 470 customers without power for a prolonged period of time, and are getting on top of that. I do have Adam Meggs here if there were any more detailed questions about it, should they arise. Sticking on the emergency management theme, I wanted, and I've discussed this with Councillor Stewart in her role as chair of Civil Defence Emergency Management Committee. Please be aware that we're coming up to the end of the work program arising from last year's weather events. All of the actions that we programmed as a result of the various reports, the Mike Bush report and others. We had timetabled that program to be reviewed at the end of June, or for the end of June. So the key thing I wanted you to be aware of is that rather than a whole lot of separate reviews dealing with, for example, the Bush review, the Toa Consulting review, the Jerry Mataparai review, and NEMA's review. So in other words, we were dealing with a lot of different reviews and have dealt with a sum total number of recommendations from that. I have arranged with the Officer of the Auditor General that they will do an independent review of our progress around that implementation and the building up of capability in the emergency management space. So I pick that will be will offer some level of reassurance both to you and the public about the lessons from last year having been learned and implemented. More details to follow. Wanted you to be aware that we are monitoring, this is just what we need, right? We're monitoring the avian bird flu situation quite closely, and Rachel Kelleher has briefed the executive team on this and is available if you have any questions, but it is a situation that is quite dynamic and needs to be quite carefully monitored. Looking a little bit more internally, be aware that the change proposal in the organisation is progressing. I've been interviewing for executive and senior leadership positions this week and through the next couple of weeks. We're on schedule to confirm appointments to. We're on schedule to confirm appointments to the executive team later next week. I will leave the various elements of discussion with central government for today. Megan is here. If you have any questions there.
Bill, I think you're on mute.
I'll just pause.
Sharon Stewart just said something.
Sharon, I don't think I am, but the problem may be at your end.
What is going on?
We appear to have a Tanifar in there, don't we?
Okay, I will just proceed. Other news: libraries won. This is good. Libraries won first place in the International Federation of Libraries Marketing Awards. So quite a prestigious international event. There were 107 entries. Council won it for our promotion around the benefits of library membership. So well done to that team. We have plans in place for many events to acknowledge Matariki coming up in the period 15 to 30 June. So you will see both local and regional events in that regard. The one thing I lost my train of thought there. The one thing I was going to mention in terms of discussions with government was that you will recall the need for us to renegotiate the funding package with central government around recovery work in order that we could shift resources from potential Category 2 projects into Category 3. That has been successfully concluded, and it means that there is an increased number, 900 plus, of Category 3 properties that will be bought. So it's good to have that clarity and agreement with central government. We've still got to ink the deal, but the substantive negotiation is concluded on that.
Sorry, Phil, I think you said 900 plus, like it was 900 plus extra. You mean 900 plus is the total?
The total, yes. Yes, that was a $1 billion question, so I'm glad you clarified that. Your Worship, I will leave it there.
All right, we're just going to stop for a second while we disconnect and reconnect because we've got a gremlin.